how to actually tell if your artist specializes in fine line tattoos. Number one is going to be just seeing their simple work. A lot of fine line tattoos can be done with up to 5 round liners. What that means is each needle has a configuration. It depends on one, how thick they are, and also how many needles are in that grouping. It goes in odd numbers, so 1, 3, and 5. 5 and below are considered technically fine line. I personally only use up to 3, and nano needles. What that means is it's the smallest thickness of the needle. After that, definitely healed photos, because fine line is really hard to get to heal well, and there's definitely a specific method, which we've talked about, on how to get those to heal correctly. Check out their healed results and ask them to send you photos of somebody multiple years later. It's always important to remember that all ink does spread over time, but if you're too hard on the skin, that's going to expand much faster and much thicker. Why you shouldn't drink alcohol before or after your tattoo appointment. Number one, this can be a little controversial to some artists. Me personally, because I do fine line tattoos, I don't get a lot of blood, right? So it's most important before the appointment not to. If you do drink alcohol, it's mainly a decision factor. So I don't want you coming in and not really knowing what you're wanting, and then let's say that you decide on something and you're intoxicated, and then you come back later and you're regretting that decision. That's actually on me for making sure that you're not following the right protocol. So I do have people actually sign consent forms that they are not intoxicated. So mainly for me, it's definitely the decision making factor. Number two, after, let's just fall on the whole point of I don't really care. I don't care if you have a drink afterwards. I don't get a lot of blood in the first place, but let's say you're getting a bigger piece like a sleeve. Number one is going to be because it thins your blood, right? So if you have more blood popping out, that's going to dilute the ink going in. Also can have a higher risk for scar tissue. Can I use aquaphor for a healing tattoo? The answer is if you really want to, you can. My suggestion with that is definitely letting it melt a little bit into the hand and then spreading it on there so it's a little bit lighter. The issue with aquaphor is it is really thick, right? So then the skin can't properly breathe while healing. Therefore, it's suffocating the wound versus moisturizing it and letting it breathe, which is the best technique for a healing tattoo. Can you over moisturize your tattoo? Absolutely. Tattoos, you almost want to dry heal and then moisturize as needed. That's because if you over moisturize, you're actually diluting that tattoo ink. So you definitely want to let it dry heal, and then if you're tight, itchy, dry, that's when it's appropriate to moisturize. Why you shouldn't take aspirin before you come to your tattoo appointment. I get this question. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but it is a blood thinner, so same like alcohol, it is going to thin the blood and you will be diluting that ink. If I'm sick, should I go to my tattoo appointment? Definitely not, and I absolutely appreciate when people do let me know that they are sick. If you're sick, they should reschedule you, no problem. If it's a repeat thing or an excuse, then that's not exactly ethical. We don't want to go about it that way. But I definitely say reschedule, because we all have families. I'm constantly seeing people back to back to back each day. So I don't want to be spreading something. I might not catch it, but I do have the chance of spreading it to my next client. And you never know. Somebody can have their grandpa that lives with them, and we want to protect our grandma and grandpas.